Well, welcome everybody. This is a historic moment, certainly in recent memory for the city, certainly for our administration, because this is the first Sister City Economic Development Agreement that I'll be signing. So this is historic, and it's actually pretty exciting. We've had some wonderful meetings and experiences and interactions and discussions about the great synergy between Cork County and Quincy, Massachusetts. And this is going to open up, I think, some wonderful additional opportunities for a lot of folks. And I think both sides of the pond are going to be recipients of that. Before I get into the official program, I do want to acknowledge we have some elected officials with us. And I see we have almost the whole state delegation. Senator John Keenan, Representative Bruce Ayers, and Representative Taki Chan from the state delegation. Thank you for being here. I know we have City Councilors Noel DeBona and Nina Liang. Anybody else from the council? And school committee members, Emily Lebo and Anthony Andronico. Thank you to our electeds. And Kathy Hubley. Sorry, Kathy. And I suppose we could go around the room and introduce just about everybody, but I do want to acknowledge the presence of both the Quincy College, Eastern Nazarene College, National Park Service, the Chamber of Commerce, and I do want to give a special shout out to Mr. Jay Cashman, who is a Quincy native and a very successful businessman who has been a great corporate citizen here and has a little castle on island, I hear, Jay. I don't think it's in Cork, but not too far. Thank you all for being here. What's that? He comes from Cork, but where's the castle? Okay. Well, let me do this. I think I'd like to read the agreement, and then we're going to hear from the mayor and the CEO of Cork County. Seeing Quincy, you're very fortunate with efficiencies. I happen to be the mayor and CEO, so it's whereas the City of Quincy, Massachusetts, and Cork County intend to enter into an economic development agreement, and whereas many Irish immigrants have made a home in Quincy, a great majority of whom have immigrated directly from County Cork. And whereas this agreement will foster economic development benefits for both parties in the key areas of business, education, and tourism. And whereas several years of exploration were dedicated to create this exciting opportunity and enrich the relationship between the two regions, ultimately optimizing the expressed areas of synergy. Now, therefore, the City of Quincy and Cork County Council, through their respective agents, consent herewith to formalize this agreement and promote economic prosperity through commerce, education, and travel to benefit generations for decades to come. That is the document with some more detail that each of us will be signing today. So I am, certainly as mayor of the City of Quincy, I'm so excited. I often speak of my German heritage, but I do have some Irish heritage, although it traces to Waterford, not Cork. But, you know, when you look at the contributions the Irish immigrant have made to this nation, it's pretty remarkable. And that goes back many, many years back to the Civil War. Certainly had a great impact on this region, and probably one of the greatest, certainly local politicians from Massachusetts, John Kennedy, you know, was well thought of throughout the world, but particularly in Ireland and the U.S. So we're proud of the agreement we're signing today. We're grateful for the friendships that we've made and look forward to much success for both sides of the pond. So at this time, I'd like to bring the Honorable, you had to see the gab on this guy. The Honorable Declan Hurley. Look at the chain on this guy. Come on up, Mayor. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Cook, elected representatives, distinguished guests, friends. That's the way I want to sum up this afternoon is a meeting of friends. As Mayor has outlined, a very exciting evening here this evening and a very exciting event taking place between two very similar communities. And we're going to sign an economic development agreement, and it's a partnership. It's to come in together. And I suppose when we think back, I suppose in the opportunities that came together when the Irish came here all those years ago, we kind of have gone full circle in the sense that here we are now, I suppose, entering a new venture again with two communities coming together, realizing opportunities we have to offer on both sides of the Atlantic. And this is my second time here in Quincy. I had the pleasure of being here back about 14 months ago. Can I just say, it's just the welcome and the friendship that we receive every time is just, it's infectious. I just want to acknowledge you, and I suppose just pay tribute to how you make people so welcome here in your beautiful city. And even though I and my colleagues here, the delegation from Cork County Council from Cork, were standing on foreign soil, we still feel at home. It's my second time here in Quincy, and I do sense and feel that homely environment. And again, only being here a second time, I think that's a strong statement to say, but it's a statement I mean from my heart. And I certainly look forward, Mayor, to working very closely with you and the city of Quincy going forward as we, I suppose, bed in this agreement that we're going to put in place, and very strong synergies both from tourism, from business, from education. We have great opportunities to offer on both sides of the Atlantic. And now that we have the transatlantic flights from Cork into Providence, there's no excuse why we can't build on those and expand on those. And certainly it dispels any barriers or obstacles from us in building on those. So I certainly want to extend a Cork welcome invitation to the Mayor, Mayor Cook, to visit Cork at your soonest and earliest opportunity. And I know you don't partake in alcoholic beverages, but we'll get you a pint of something at least over in Cork anyway. So because we have a tradition, when you come to Cork, we have to have a pint of the black stuff, as we call it. But my great honour and privilege to be here representing Cork County Council this afternoon, signing this very memorable partnership and agreement, and can just, I suppose, compliment the people here in front of me, particularly the Chamber of Commerce and all at BIBA and at Mass Bio as well, to Mass Challenge, for the great work that's been done for the last 2 years. This hasn't happened overnight. It's been coming together at various stages over the last 2 years of like-minded people wanting to share what they feel is best to share on both sides. And I just want to acknowledge all of you who I've had the pleasure of meeting on many occasions, both here in Quincy and back in Cork, and just acknowledge and thank you for bringing this to where it is today. This is the beginning of something beautiful and of something very rich for both communities going forward. So again, I want to thank you for your warm welcome, and we look forward to working with you going forward, both here in Quincy and back in Cork. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and for every pint that you have, I'll have a pint of ice cream with you. Maybe I'll try my first pint when we go over. Next, I'd like to welcome the Chief Executive Officer for Cork County, Tim Lucey.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to introduce our delegation to you, because travelling with us this week, we have Mr. James Fogarty, who is the Deputy Chief Executive of Cork County. We have, let's look across the road over here somewhere. Here we are. Ms. Sharon Corcoran, who's our Director of Economic Development and Tourism. We have Ms. Orla Flynn, who's the Vice President of Cork Institute of Technology. And Mr. Michael Kingston, who is travelling with us for the first time, but is best described, I'd say, as an international lawyer with a particular interest in North Atlantic issues and energy and marine matters, and does some work for the US government here as well. And obviously led by our Mayor and myself. I don't think I've missed out on anyone. I'd also like to recognise the presence of Ms. Fionnuala Quinlan, who's Consul General of the Irish Government here in Boston. And Fionnuala, from day one, has been a phenomenal help to us in terms of getting us to understand Boston, Cambridge, Quincy, and the Massachusetts area. Her own presence here, I think, recognises the value that she sees and the Irish government sees in developing these type of partnerships. And just to go back, I suppose, a little bit of background in terms of our relationship here, how this has developed. And I mentioned Boston, I mentioned Cambridge, I mentioned Quincy. And why are we here today? Because Quincy is the best fit for us. And we've been really, really, really enthused by the level of reception and the level of engagement that we've got with the individuals such as Tim, such as Maureen, such as Laura, such as Deirdre, right, Margaret, my apologies, etc., and Sarah, over the last 18 months to 24 months. Just to give you a feel for Cork County itself, we have a population of 540,000 people. We're about 1/10 of the state, or one of the Irish state. And to put us into figures, I suppose, interestingly, Mayor, you have 9 city councillors here. I have to face 55 councillors elected every second week, and the third Friday as well of every month. While the mayor controls the councillors, I have to answer to them in public session on that number of occasions, as do some of the other officials here. So we're a very, very open and accountable organisation, which is good. I suppose as a state as well, just a few words in relation to Ireland. And Ireland, as you know, went through a phenomenal economic downturn, the same as yourselves probably. But actually, I think we went up to unemployment rates of maybe 12, 13, 14%. And now down in our region, unemployment in our region is measured by bringing Cork and Kerry together, which would have a lot of rural areas, and that's at just over 4%. So in Cork itself, and in the metropolitan area of Cork, I think we're at around 3% unemployment level at this point in time, almost getting to full employment really, because there will always be a number who will be unemployed during any economic cycle. So we've made phenomenal advancement. I suppose in terms of our interests out here, we have developed really, really strong partnerships and business relationships, and particularly culminating this week with the signing of an agreement with MassBio. You'll all know about MassBio, primarily because Cork County has the highest concentration of pharmaceutical and life sciences products in country and potentially in Europe. In Cork, we have 9 of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies in Ireland based in Cork and Ringaskiddy, such as Eli Lilly, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, all of those. We're also very, very exceptionally strong in the IT sector. You have Apple, have their European and Middle Eastern headquarters based in Cork with 6,000 employees. You have Dell EMC and a range of other ones. We're beginning to emerge as a real player in the cybersecurity side of things. Tourism clearly is a massive, massive opportunity for us, because Ireland now has 2 major products. Well, 3 really, I suppose. They say Dublin is one of the major products, and it is obviously Dublin city itself. But you've got the Wild Atlantic Way, which runs from Donegal all the way down the west coast, and it starts and finishes in Cork. And then you've got Ireland's Ancient East, which runs the other side with thousands of years of history and ancient history. Another one of our international products from a tourism perspective, and that starts and finishes in Cork. So everything is in Cork. In fact, I think TripAdvisor a number of years ago described that if you go to Ireland, then go to Cork, because Cork has everything that Ireland can offer. It's as simple as that. In terms of our educational institutions, we have Cork Institute of Technology, which produces the highest number of engineering students of any university or third level educational institution in the country, and University College Cork. And in Cork, between the two of those, I think there's probably about 35,000 students. So, and very much linked into the industrial world and the economic world as well. So another thing we've done here as well, we're running a program now with Mass Challenge, which has been highly successful. We're the first agency in Ireland to engage formally with Mass Challenge. We ran a competitive bid over the last number of months. 54 companies applied, startup companies applied with an interest to do business over here in Massachusetts, whether that's in Boston, Quincy or Cambridge. That will all fall out in due course. We're down to the last 20 at this point in time, and that will be whittled down in 2 weeks' time to 10 who will come over to do a week-long boot camp with Mass Challenge, and 2 of those will be accepted into the Mass Challenge Accelerator Programme. But through all of that, we've also found startup companies who want to look at Ireland and look at Cork as a base. So between the number of companies that have applied to us, there's 54 in total. There'll be 2 ultimate winners, but the other 52 are clearly of interest to us. And that's only the tip of the iceberg in terms of identifying a number of companies, small startup companies who want to locate in Ireland. That's really the tip of the iceberg as well. So between the relationship here with Quincy and what Quincy has to offer, we had a fantastic tour earlier today around, and I was blown away actually by the tourism. I didn't realise the extent of the history of Quincy, and it's linked to the presence of the United States through the Adams, etc. So there's a phenomenal opportunity between both sides as well to develop the tourism link. So other than that, thank you, and thank you to everybody from your side who has helped us to get to this stage over the last 18 months.
I also want to acknowledge Council General Quinlan. Thank you for being with us today. At this time, Maureen Gary has been my liaison to the team with the Chamber And it's been quite a team. I know they've been working extremely hard with the team that Tim described, so I'm grateful for their work. And at this time, I'd ask Tim Cahill, the president of the Quincy Chamber, to come up and have some remarks and introduce the team.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Mayor? Tim? Little symmetry here. I want to thank you all very much for making this a really special day so far. Tomorrow is the second part of our day. Last night, actually, it started, so there's a lot of work that's gone into this, a lot of effort, but it has really been a joy for me in the chamber. And I do have to acknowledge that this process started before I became president of the chamber. I inherited something that I thought was really special, and then I tried to work on it with a great group of people. That first group is my board of directors, some of whom are here today. We have Mike McFarland, Sean Curry, Sean Galvin, Ryan Barrett, and did I forget anyone? Oh, Janet Batson. Well, I have you, Janet, on the other list. So Janet Batson, yes. The chamber really embraced this whole process of bringing Cork and Quincy together, bringing Ireland and the United States together, bringing these two mayors together. And I'm forever grateful for having the opportunity to work on this. It has, as I said, it's been a joy. We have a small group of really hardworking people on what we have euphemistically called the Cork Committee. So Mary Burke from Quincy College is here. Maureen Gary, as the mayor said, the mayor's liaison. Margaret LaForest from Discover Quincy. Janet Batson, who wears two hats, Discover Quincy and the Quincy Chamber of Commerce. Sarah Stanton from Cara Travel. Sarah, who wears two hats, being an Irish native, but also a Hausnecker, too, right? Yes. And Laura Hamilton from BIBA. The Boston Irish Business Association. Laura is a Cork native and a Quincy native. So if anyone has put this together, I think special congratulations go to Laura and the work that she's done, really. As Tim and the two mayors said, this agreement is more than just a twinning or a sister city agreement. We're really excited about what will come after this. This is just the beginning, the first step. And our role at the chamber is to make sure that the pieces all fit together, working closely with the mayor's office, working closely with Cork and our committee to make sure that we achieve a goal of fulfilling the three pillars of this agreement, which is business development. And we're already starting that over at the Quincy Innovation Center, and that's a big part of what the chamber's doing. Education. And the colleges, both Quincy College and Eastern Nazarene, Cork Institute of Technology, and UCC are all part of that as well. And tourism, which is a huge undertaking and a very strong initiative of the mayor's office to make sure that Quincy finds its role as a premier tourist destination. And I know that the folks that were on the bus tour today, which was marvelously narrated by Margaret LaForest, really got to hear everything. And we didn't even get through the whole trip. It would have taken maybe two and a half hours to get everywhere. But they really saw what we all take for granted sometimes, is all the specialness that Quincy has. We actually got out of the van once and walked through the Adams National Historic Site. Marianne, I hope you knew that was us trespassing on the grounds, just walking through. And Mayor Hurley is a dairy farmer. That's his full-time job. Which, as city councilors know, that it's you have to do both. And it was, it was special for me, and I think for us, to show him what really is the last farm in Quincy. No dairy, no cattle, no cows or anything, but I think it sort of let people know what we once were and what we are going forward. So this is a very special moment. I really want to thank our mayor, Tom Koch, who not only has been very supportive of this program, but is very supportive of me and the chamber and all of the business community here in Quincy, because he understands, as we all do, that without a vibrant business community, then the taxpayers and residents are left to foot the bill, and they tend to flee. And what's happened in this city over the last 10 years and what we hope will happen over the next 10 years is absolutely breathtaking. and it's changed the way we look at things. And when I went to Cork in October for a couple of days, I saw the synergies between the two regions. So similar. This should have happened a long time ago, but now, as the mayor said earlier in his office, the stars have aligned. So I want to thank our Irish friends and our Irish group. I think Declan said it better than I could, that there's a real feeling of familiarity between us, a real feeling of friendship and togetherness, that there's nothing phony about this agreement. And I think we've felt it. I think they felt it. And if you're able to join us afterwards, we're going to be going up to Granite Links for a reception from 5:30 to 7:30. You're all invited to come. I think you'll get a sense of it too. And I do want to announce, although we're going to officially announce it later tonight, but those who can't come, the Chamber is getting ready to sponsor its first Quincy to Cork vacation trip due to the good work of Sarah Stanton at Cara Travel in September, so that we can connect with the Cork Food Festival that is taking place around there. So there'll be more information at the reception. Space will fill up quickly, so I suggest that you sign up. It'll be the first outcome, positive outcome of many to come, of what this agreement's going to do. So I guess if we could ask the mayor, the two mayors and Tim to enter the table, we can sign the agreement, and then we'll do pictures.